What's up, guys? It's been a while since I posted. We're going to be working on one of my main rigs for my business. It's my 1985 C30 GMC Mason dump. And you can see we got a couple holes we got to work on patching up at some point. It's been a few years since I've done anything work related to it. It's just been put together and it just goes to work. It starts up every day, does whatever it needs to do. And it started off as a cab off restoration project 10 or 12 years ago. And originally I was taking my time, and then I decided to start my business, and I needed a dump truck real bad, and I was only halfway done with this. So I kind of cobbled it together in a really short amount of time, and some things just weren't 100% on it. And I just like this wiring here, I just threw it together just so that it would work, and everything needed to be up to code and stuff. So now it's time to actually get some updates done to it, because I haven't done anything to it in I think about 4 years or 5 years now. So one of the things, we had one of my exhaust brackets rusted off, and I threw a chain on it just to hold it up for a couple days, and it's been sitting in the parking lot for the last week and a half because I haven't used it. Winter's just about over, and we're getting ready to start the landscaping season, so it's time to get this thing ready to go. So I bought all new hangers and brackets and stuff, so I can put all new ones on there, get that replaced. One of the other things we're going to be doing is pulling this cylinder out, sending it out to get rebuilt, because it leaks a little bit and it settles down, so I need to get that fixed up. I need to go through the brakes, check everything out. I already did the U-joints about a month and a half ago. We were out plowing and one of them started making noise, so I pulled them apart, did both of them. We're going to be doing some new PTO lines for the tank. I've got to pull apart the wiring for these LED lights that I put in here. A couple of them aren't really working too well. Somebody hit my truck in the parking lot, made a big old gouge on this and destroyed that light. So I gotta fix that, cut it off, weld a new piece on. I gotta put a new plug in here because the cap's broken. Fix up these lights back here. One of them wasn't working too well when I had the sander in it. I gotta get those repaired. Do a couple things to these lights. Put some new wires in it. I just threw it together with whatever I had at the time to get it roadworthy. I never really finished the inside. The mirrors aren't fully attached. It's kind of a mess in here, but I converted it over to AC and I never finished it. So I got all the AC parts in here hooked up. Yeah, there's a lot of crap in here. I'm gonna try and clean that today. Hopefully I'll get that stuff figured out with the AC and get that working. We got to do a couple things under the hood. Finish making some mounting brackets and everything. Other than that, we're gonna get right to it. Start getting some of this stuff done, and hopefully in another week when the season starts, we'll be able to just go right to work. So most of these lights on this side work. I got the 2 orange ambers over here and the 2 red ones back here, and these work on this side, but a lot of the wiring is just kind of hanging out. You know, it's starting to corrode and come apart, so I'm gonna just start replacing it from back here, work my way all the way back around, get all the marker lights back up to snuff, and then I'm gonna redo a bunch of the wiring in here, replace that service panel, and try and tighten up that big loom coming across, which is for my sander and my backup lights for that. So hopefully I can get all that, most of the way wrapped up, because we're going to need this tomorrow for work. So I want to try and get a lot of this done, if possible, today. A lot of these wires were already kind of falling apart. It's a good thing that we're getting ready to change them all. This one here's already got some big corrosion going on. This end just pulled right out. It's a good thing that we're getting ready to start changing all this Alright, here's where we're at since it's been nothing but a nightmare. I ended up replacing the lights, got those changed out. I put a 2-wire in instead of just running wires and putting the grounds off of each individual light. So 1 wire's power, 1 wire's ground. Nice and easy. Ran it all in the channel up here for the ambers up here, the red markers back here, red over here, and amber's over there. I gotta get a hanger for that one. And I brought it down to the center and got it into the panel here. And I guess when I originally did the wiring, I kind of just rushed it a little bit because there's the 4-wire that came in the truck, and I wanted to isolate the signal light and the brake light. So I had to tap into the plug behind the brake pedal, and it just made my life a pain. So I started checking the wires, the colors weren't lining up, this, that, and the other thing. This plug's a mess right here. So I'm redoing it. Yeah, plain and simple. My 7-way was kind of corroded after 5 years of use. So, I mean, that's not terrible for 5 years, comparatively speaking. But I'm putting a new one on there, make it nice and easy for everything. And then once I get that in there, I'm gonna put a new 7-way bus bar in the back with the box, clean it all up nice so that I don't have any more issues. I'm just wiring up the new plug right now. Got my spool wire. Luckily I have all of this stuff in stock, so I don't have to go run around and do stuff. For those of you that aren't familiar with wiring, whatever, there's a whole bunch of different stuff. I keep this with my wiring. It's got the different things between, you know, 7-way round, 7-way blades, 6-way round, 4 round, 5 flat, and 4. But that is just, I believe, SAE wiring for those of you that work with the round stuff. Then there's another 7-way around that is ATA. There's all sorts of crap. Anyway, I'm doing 7-way blades, 7-way RV, whatever you want to call it. I strip them out and then I put a little dielectric grease on each one before I stick it in there. And that's what keeps it in good shape. Got my little boot for the end. Gonna get that all tied together. Once I get that in there, then I can work on chasing all the other wires, and hopefully this will go pretty quick because it's getting to be kind of a pain, and I just need to get it to go to work. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I got all the loom in, and then I just got to neaten up a couple more things back here. It's really not too bad, but hopefully I can get this wrapped up so then I'm done with it. Alright, I'm gonna make this kind of quick because I've been futzing around with this thing for like 2 days now, and I'm about done with it. I kind of made it my own issue a couple years ago when I originally wired it, because I wanted to isolate the tail lights and the signal lights. So I have ambers and reds. But this truck came with the standard 4-wire setup, 2 yellow, yellow, green, green, and brown, which is normally what it ran, and I put 7-way on there so that it would be a little bit more compatible with all my other rigs, trailers, stuff like that. Well, I wanted to isolate the tail lights and stuff, so I had to pull the brake signal off the switch here underneath the column, and then I pulled everything else off from like the firewall area, separated it. I put some bus bars in. I'll show you that. got a 4-way bus bar here for all the signal lights, and I was able to hook up the plow lights and everything there. But for some reason, I misconnected the black 7-way and the blue 7-way somehow. I don't know, whatever. But I think I got it rectified now, because after I put it all together, I hooked it up to the trailer and I had no brake lights. I was like, what is going on here? Pulled it all back apart again, checked out this one, which there's no issues with this. This is wired pretty correctly. It's all set up in there, except the only difference on this trailer from factory when I put this on to replace the old one was the white wire and the black wire were different grounds. On the trucks, the white wire's ground. On that trailer, for some reason, the black wire's ground. So those are just crossed. So what I've got to do and what I've come up with is all my lights work, all my signals on the truck side from what I isolated from the 7-way that I pulled, which is all the wires up here, and then all these are, you know, marker lights and other stuff, backup lights and stuff. And then this pigtail here is going down to the hitch plate. So what I have to do is the black wire is no longer in use, which I thought it would be, but it's not. That's going to be backup lights. And then we have the signal green and the yellow signal green. But the issue is, because I isolated them on the truck, now they are designated signals, and the red wire was designated brakes. And you can't put it back together, which in the 4-way setup, the green and the yellow is signal, and brake lights combined. So I need to use these two to tie in to the 2 signals that go out here so that they have the brake signal incorporated in it. And then everything should be straight. Finally. So hopefully I can get that together so that this will be finally done. And then maybe what I can do is, I have a new sensor for the dump body being in the air. I'd like to get that changed out. And I need a new license plate, light, and a couple other odds and ends. And hopefully this wiring nightmare can be in the past, and then I can work on a couple other things that I need to get done, like this cylinder that is all sorts of leaky, making a mess. So I can get that rebuilt. I've got to do the hinge pins here. I need to put new grease zerks in them. Maybe I'll even get around to fixing my window on the driver's side of the truck, because I don't know, probably for the last year or so, the it doesn't do anything. It doesn't work. So I've been opening it that way. And over the winter, my triangle window finally broke, and also the window doesn't really crank up that well. So now that I've got a whole pile of things that I need to do in there, it's about time. So just trying to keep you all updated on what's going on here. Hopefully I can get this finished and move on to another project.